Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live Wednesday with Karen. I'm so excited you're here. If you are here and you haven't already said hello in chat, make sure you do that. I'm going to head over to the chat right now and see who's here. I see Linda's here. Good morning, Linda. It's good to see you. And Daisy, I'm so glad you're here. And I see Liz is here. Good morning. Good morning, Liz. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. And anybody else who's here, please definitely pop in. I just wanted to say hello. It feels like this month has gone on forever. I don't even know why it feels like it's been a long month, but it really has been a long month. I just saw Stephanie from Texas is here. Good morning. Oh, it's really hot in Dallas. I'm going to be checking in with you before DFW because I'm going to have to be sure I'm prepared for whatever weather it is in September. So it's going to be interesting to see what it's going to be like. Okay, so today's show, I'm going to show you two ways that I use to join yarn to my project other than the traditional way of joining yarn by pulling through the last two loops of the previous stitch that you want to use or that you want to finish. How do I even say this? You yarn over and you pull through the last two loops of the stitch you're just completing in order to start a new color in that next stitch. I'm not going to show that because that's something that everybody learns when they're learning to crochet, but I'm going to show you two different ways that I use different joins. Hang on. Okay, I disappeared for a second, at least on my screen. I don't know if you guys saw it, but now I have to set up everything that I had on screen. So hang on a second and make sure I can get my extra, shoot. Hang on a second. My extra camera is not working. Let's see. I need to show a few things here that I need to show. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. I'm going to try to get a second camera working. Hang on a second. This has been a weird thing lately. Shoot. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to show you on the big screen. For some reason, it's not going to let me use my second camera. So I am going to have to show you the big screen. Anyway, for today, I'm giving away a copy of Cobblestone Cowl. I have a pattern here printed out, the Cobblestone Cowl pattern. I know a lot of you have already purchased it, but if you haven't purchased it, you can grab your copy by typing in #cobble. So I am going to have you do that. For those of you who would like to enter to win, I don't have the sample. My photographer has not sent it back to me, even though she photographed it back in like March. So I don't know what's going on there. I have to get in touch with her. But in the meantime, the pattern is Cobblestone Cowl, and you can type in #cobble. Now, I'm going to say this now, and I'll say this again later. The people who are not able to enter this week are Kelly and Carrie, who's went in, and Kelly. So those are the only two who may not enter this drawing. Okay, so let's see. I saw a couple people come in. Renee's here. Good morning, Renee. It's good to see you. And then Linda says, I was wondering where you went. Yeah, it's not, my computer's doing something weird. I don't know what it is or why. I'm going to shut one other thing off here really quick and just see if that makes a difference with this phone. To see if I can get I'm going to unplug it. And then I'm going to do a couple things here to shut off all my all of my what do you call them? I think that's what happened actually. Now that I'm looking at this, I think I had a notification that came up that decided it was going to not like what I did. Okay, so now I'm going to put that on. I'm going to plug this guy back in. Sorry guys if I'm partially off screen, but I want to make sure that I can use my calendar. So hang on a second here. Nope, it's not going to let me do it. Okay, I tried. I did all the things I could think of that weren't going to let me do it. Okay, so I'm going to take that off the screen now, and I am going to go to me. Actual temp is supposed to be 106. Feels like 118. Oh man, I am getting all the notifications here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to hide that. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm having technology difficulties today, but I think I'm going to be able, because I'm close enough that I might be able to show you how I do this. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first one. And if you have a question, just like it says at the bottom of the screen, if you have a question, type the Q, a space, and then your question so that I can make sure that I catch the questions at the end. And what I'm going to do is eventually in the next week or so, I'm going to try to do a standalone video on this so that you can actually see my hands doing it without my face in front of everything. But I wanted to show you 2 ways that I add colors. Let's go ahead and get started. And okay, first way that is my favorite, I'll be honest with you, this is my favorite way of doing it, even though it's kind of fiddly, is the Russian join. Now, the Russian join I use a lot when I am changing colors in a mini skein set that kind of fades. So for example, I'm going to pull this mini skein set. Hang on, where'd it go? Oh, shoot. Well, I have this mini, it's probably, I know where it is. Anyway, I have a mini skein set. It's Schmozzarella yarns. It goes from a light color to a dark color, and the gradient is just really smooth. If you've seen my Queen of Hearts shawl, that's how I did the joins on that one, so that the color would land wherever it needed to land. Okay, so how I do that, and I'm going to use 2 different colors of yarn so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start with the yellow. This is Cascade 220, just so that you guys can see it. So for a Russian join, you're going to put your yarn on a yarn needle. And because this is worsted weight, I'm using one of these bigger metal yarn needles from Clover that has the bent tip, and those are my favorite for Russian join. I use a straight needle when I'm using fingering weight, but for worsted weight, this is my favorite. I haven't gotten any for fingering weight yet, but I need to get some. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. I gotta get some yarn here. Okay, now you want to leave a bit of a tail for this because you're gonna have an end at the end of this. But you use the needle, and what you're going to do, and I apologize, I'm having technology issues, and again, I'm going to show you how to do this on a regular video, but this is really frustrating for me. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put it as close as I can to the camera. So I take the needle, and I go down to the thread or the yarn that is going towards the hank, or I have a cake here, a cake of yarn, and you literally are going to insert the needle and split the fibers. There, I had to use my finger to do it. There we go. So see how the needle is splitting the fiber there? And then you twist around the needle, and then you go through the fiber again. So now it's going through twice. Then you go again, 3. I do at least 4 depending on how slick the yarn. I'm going to do 5 on this one just so that you can see how much yarn is actually. Here's the tail right here. And you can see that the needle is going through 5 times. You can see it's always wrapping the same way I tend to wrap towards me. You can wrap either direction, it doesn't matter, but always go the same direction. So that's how you do the wrapping. Then you take the needle and you pull it through, but you want to make sure that you hold on to the tail. You don't want the tail to be in the inside of a loop, but you want to hold on to this little loop that forms when you start to pull so that you have a loop at the end of everything that you wove in. So I'm going to try to turn this so you guys can see it. And you can see that the tail is hanging out down here. And you can see that this yarn is woven into itself with a loop on top. Okay. Does that make sense so far? Okay. Now, we're going to start with the second color. And we're going to go ahead and insert the hook. I just realized I didn't pull my microphone over. Can you guys hear me? I gotta move my microphone over. Gotta rearrange a couple things here. It's been one of those technology days. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so second yarn. So I've already strung it on the needle. Now I take the first color, and this is what the loop is for. I insert the needle through the loop and pull it through so that you can see that the second color is through the loop. And then I am going to do exactly the same thing where I bring the needle in and I start wrapping it and splitting the fibers. I don't know why they call this the Russian join, other than possibly it's because it was developed in Russia. That's my only guess. But there we go. I've got it wrapped 5 times and it's on the needle. Now I'm going to take that again. I'm going to make sure a loop forms here with the mint green, and I'm going to pull that through. Okay, so now I have 2 loops interlocking each other, and this one's kind of messy, but that's kind of what happens when it's 100% wool. Okay, so now you can see there's a loop there. There's 2 colors there. There's a tail. Now, what I start with is I grab the tails of the 2 colors. Can you see that? Got the 2 colors tails, and I pull, and you'll notice that the loops disappear and the colors join, so that when you're crocheting along, you're going to have a little bit more bulky yarn here, especially if you're using worsted weight. With fingering weight, you don't notice it, but you're going to crochet along, and you're not going to grab the tails when you get to that point. You're just going to keep crocheting, and when you get to the tail, just make sure that drops to the back of your work that you're working on. Same thing when you get to the other tail, and you just keep crocheting. But you'll notice that's a nice, super even join of the yarn. Now, I still weave in these tails. A lot of people don't. I recommend doing it because, especially if you're using a slick yarn, it's still going to slide and that join could possibly come out, especially if you're using like a nylon, or acrylic's not so bad, but anything that's super slick, bamboo, 100% bamboo, 100% silk, I would not leave these and just cut them. I would definitely weave in these tails. But this is what I do when I'm using a beautifully gradient yarn mini skein pack. This is my favorite way of doing it, and it allows the colors to just gradually fade. Now, I wouldn't recommend this if you're using a gradient pack that every color is different. So like maybe you start with purple, and then you have red, and then you have green. Because what happens is this allows you to let the ends change anywhere you want. You could still do this somewhere else, in some of that stuff, if you don't mind having a color jog. But this is beautiful for a gradient. And like I said, I do this pretty much every time with the Smutzarella gradient packs, anything that's beautifully gradient. Okay. Now the second one is going to be interesting to try to show you without the overhead camera. And again, if this doesn't work, I will post a video, I promise. Okay. The second way I join color is using a magic knot. Okay. Now, magic knot is actually tying knots with your two colors. Okay. And I can see already this is not going to work. If you haven't seen a magic knot, and I'm going to apologize up front, I'm going to see if I can pull up the info I have on a magic knot. Hang on one second here. Let's see if I can share the screen after. Okay, let's see if it's on this other one. Huh, okay. I thought I had it here. Apparently not. I had a picture that actually showed you. Okay, I'm going to look it up here this way. But basically what you're doing is you're doing two overhand. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Aha. Okay, I'm going to share that tab. Can you guys see? Oops. I'm going to share this really quick. Hang on one second. Take this ad off. Take this ad off. Okay. I'm sharing that. Okay, here we go. I am going to put that on screen. Okay, so if you look where the picture is of the magic knot, it's literally two knots stuck together, and she's clipped them really, really close. I would not clip them that close. I would leave a little bit of a tail, and if I had to, weave it in. But that is basically, I'm going to take myself off screen so you can see just that picture. Okay, so basically what you're doing is you're doing two overhand knots. I'm going to put the picture of, here we go. Take this ad off. I really hate these websites with ads. But basically you see how with the green, she's making just an overhand knot. And then with the pink, she's making another overhand knot. So the green is over the top of the pink and the pink is over the top of the green. You literally tighten those knots like I showed you. And see how she tightens them here. There's the tails. And then you pull the working yarn so that the knots slide together. And you see how they slide together here. Now, when you make those knots, you've got to pull them super, super tight. So they grab what you're doing. And then you can clip those tails. Now, I clip them bigger than she does. And I tend to weave those in too. And this is what I do when I'm using the same color. So for when I've got two hanks of the same color yarn, oops, that's not what I want. With the same color yarn, I will join like this so that I can actually join in the middle of a row somewhere. This is what I use. Again, I'm going to show you a video on this. But that's the second knot. And I apologize, guys. I was practicing this whole morning to make sure I had everything working. Everything was working fine. And then as soon as I go live, everything decides to crash. So again, I will get a video up for you guys on these. Actually, I do already have the Russian join on my YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and look at that. But do you guys have any questions on those? Do you guys use those? Can you guys post in chat if you use those? I'd really like to know if you use them. I just saw Carrie came in. Good morning, Carrie. Good to see you. Sharon came in. Good morning, Sharon. I'm so glad you're here. Um, and then Linda said, I'm loving this joint. I'm thinking it's the one I showed you because of the timestamp on it. The Russian join. I love the Russian join. It's one of my favorites when I'm doing color work or when I'm doing gradients. And Liz says she uses the magic knot quite a bit. Oh, good. Okay. Now, Liz, do you clip it as close as she was showing in those pictures, or do you leave a little more of a tail? Let me know about that one. I'd be interested to hear what you do. Anybody else use any of these? Is this new to anybody? I'm just curious. Has this been new to you guys? Okay. Liz clips it close. Do you haven't had any trouble with them unraveling then? Or do you leave it a little longer on slippery yarns? Have you ever had that's what I'm wondering, if anybody's have a magic knot come apart. That's why I don't clip them as close as they were in that picture. They could be that they're doing it wrong. I have seen places where they show you that on one side the tail goes under the working yarn of the other side of the other yarn. So if you've got the two yarns and you're working this one, when you work this one, you go under this way the yarn, but then when you're working this color, you work the opposite direction around the yarn. That's the way I do it, and it tends to keep them from coming undone. But then again, I don't clip them as close as she does. So, okay. Renee says never use those joints. Good. I'm glad. They're actually really good. I don't recommend them. I don't recommend the magic knot on super bulky yarns or even worsted weight. It's kind of hit and miss. With worsted weight, you know what? I'm going to do it here really quick and then show you why I'm saying I don't do it on worsted that often. I haven't done it on worsted in a very long time. And then this one goes this way. Okay, one sec, guys. There we go. So I've got these two knots going. Okay, so here's the two knots, and then you take the working yarn and you pull them together like that. I always make them tighter. This one's not as tight as I'd like it to be. There we go. Let me just make sure they're tight. Okay, so you slide them together. And then, but if you look at, even if I clip this, I'm going to clip these. I'm going to clip these closer than I normally would just so you can see the knot. There we go. Okay. So if you look at that, that can show up in your project, especially if you're using multiple colors. That can show up in your project. That can get caught on things. I don't recommend this more with fingering, DK, lace weight. Don't like it in bulky yarn. Bulky yarn, it will definitely show. I don't do a lot of bulky, you guys know that. But if you notice here, I'm pulling and they're not coming apart. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, see, and Liz agrees with me. It's not such a great way to do it. Yeah, fingering, lace weight, maybe DK. I don't think I've ever done it in DK now that I think about it. I think I used the Russian join when I did my hat. That was all one color than DK. So definitely. Let's see here. Liz has no trouble so far. She uses it for knit and crochet. Some of my knitting sites say not to tie knots, so I get worried and make long tails to weave in. If you're not comfortable making knots, definitely leave a long tail. I always leave at least 4 inches, depending on the yarn and how slippery it is. Sometimes it's as much as 8 inches to weave in ends, especially if I'm using bamboo or silk or something like that I know it can slip really easily. I tend to weave in everything, even if I do make one of these knots. really important to do. Sharon says she clips it close, but give a good tug. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's important to mirror the direction with each color. Yep. That's the key, is mirroring the direction. And I will do a video on how I do that. So I will definitely have that coming in the next few weeks. I have to do a video first for next month's pattern, and then after I video that, I will do this video. So it's on my list. Okay. And it hides better in crochet than knitting. Yes, it does. You can actually force your stitches to, and I do this a lot, is that if I see a knot coming, especially a magic knot, I try to either loosen or tighten my stitches a little bit so that that knot ends up in the middle of a stitch, like in a double crochet. If it's a single crochet, I don't do it as much, but with the taller stitches, like a half or a double, I will try to adjust the gauge on that one stitch. And then when I block it, it's hidden. But I do usually do that. And I said Liz uses the magic knot with fingering weight. Yeah. If the yarns are 100% wool, I also use a spit join. Yes. Does anybody know what a spit join is? This is 100% wool, so I can show you guys. Literally a spit join with 100% wool that is not superwash. You can wet the ends. A lot of people use their spit. I'm going to have to use my spit because I don't have any water with me, but I wet them really good. And then you can, basically you're felting the fibers together with heat and friction from your fingers. So you can just kind of do that. I'm doing it really close to the ends. Normally I would do it a little farther apart to get it to work, but it takes a little bit of pressure to do it. It's not working for me right now. It probably is because this yarn has been around for so long. Sometimes I'll untwist the fibers and separate them, kind of like that, and get the two colors, in this case, together like that, so they kind of intertwine. And there you go. I see some more comments here. Linda says, I'm going to try one of these joins in my shawl that I'm knitting, thinking either one will work. Yeah, either, if you're using the same color all the way through, either one will work for sure. Yes, exactly. If you're going to use it in a bigger yarn, make sure it's in a good spot to hide. That's something that here we go. They're getting there. Takes a little bit of work, but they're starting. You can see, I'm not going to do it completely, but you can see where these two are starting to get felted together. Oops, there we go. They're starting to get felted together. So you can do that as well. I know when I was working for my local yarn shop, they used the spit join as well a lot. I would use water instead of spit. Yes, I usually do. In this case, I don't have water in front of me, so that's why I use spit. And I didn't even use that much. I think there's something in spit enzyme that helps it felt together. Yes, it could be. That could be too. That could be too. Anybody else use a different kind of join besides the normal crochet, the new yarn in the last two loops? Anybody use anything else beside those three that we just talked about? But it does work. I mean, the spit join does work, especially if you do it. Yeah, and that's what I usually do too. It's just easier to do it this way when I'm on camera. But yeah, you can go like this a lot, and you would join far more yarn together. But you can see it's starting to felt together. I've also heard of people keeping a felting needle around and having a piece of foam, and I've heard them felt with a needle felting needle. Maybe they'll overlap like that, and then felt all that together so that it joins. It felts and it's all one piece. I don't know how that would work crochet wise, if it would thicken up in that spot, but you could give it a try and see. Anybody else? Okay. I'll keep watching. Make sure that if you have a question about this or want to comment, just go ahead and post it in the chat. If it's a question, make sure you type a Q and then your question so that I can make sure I catch it. The other thing too is that if you have questions about anything else, let me know. I have a couple other things I want to talk about, but before I do that, there's a lot of new people who joined us here, and I just want to quickly, hang on a second here. I'm telling you, I told you I had technology challenges, and this is absolutely making me crazy. Hang on. Okay. So I'm giving away a copy of the Cobblestone Cowl today. This is a pattern I just released this month, and there's 2 people who are ineligible, so please do not enter the drawing. And that would be Carrie, who had jet one in, and Kelly, who's Aria. If she's here, I don't know if she's here or not, but definitely those 2 cannot enter to win today, but everybody else can. If you would like to enter to win, and you've got a good chance because there's no one who's entered right now, I'm going to share. You're going to type in hashtag cobble. Oops, wrong screen. Hashtag cobble is your hashtag. So if you'd like to win a copy of that pattern, definitely type in hashtag cobble and you'll be entered to win. Like I said, there was no one entered to win right now. And I am going to take that off screen. And I saw there's a couple. Oh, there's a message. Here we go. Oh, that's a good idea, Sharon. To kind of ply out so it won't be too thick. Is that when you are the spit join? Is that what you would do, or the felting them? Or doing needle felting would probably be a good thing too. So, I think that's a good idea. And that would also actually probably work with the magic knot too, if you did it right. I don't know how well that would work, but it would still be a knot, but it might. Okay. There's a couple things I want to talk about really quick before I go to show, or one thing I want to talk about really quick before I go to show and tell. And I'm going to switch what I'm sharing here really quick. Okay, so I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but as part of YouTube, especially since now I have the required number of followers on my YouTube channel, I have a community there as well. And if you have not already, if you are not a subscriber to my newsletter, make sure you do subscribe. Last week I did a survey, and I was really surprised at how many people like YouTube that answered the survey question. It's still less than Facebook, but it's more than Instagram, which I thought was interesting. So I wanted to let you know that I'm going to start using this community more and more. I'm going to put this up on the screen here. That is my website, or my YouTube. It's not really the homepage because I've already switched here to community. You can see right here. I'm going to go to that screen really quick. You can see right here, I clicked on community. And if you are subscribed to my newsletter and you have hit, for notifications, you'll see this in your feed, in your YouTube feed, where I post things. So like a month ago, I wasn't able to do a live stream, so I had to move my live stream to a week out. So I posted that there. I do surveys, and I'm not getting a whole lot of people answering my surveys. So I'd really like more people than 8 to, let me know how they feel about YouTube Shorts. Here's my announcement when I hit 500 subscribers. I'll post about new patterns. I haven't done that in a while. Here's another poll that I did about what type of videos you like to watch, that kind of thing. And I also post notes about, different patterns and things like that. So make sure that when you're on YouTube, if you haven't already subscribed, or if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe so you can see all these things. And I would love it if you would, answer my polls, things like that. So I'm just going to take that off screen here for now, but I wanted to let you guys know about that. And I'm going to be using it more going forward, especially since my survey is telling me that there's more people that really like YouTube. So, and if you if you haven't answered that survey, I really hope you will if you're a subscriber to my newsletter. So make sure you do that. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's do some show and tell. Okay, so some new things in the shop. In the studio, that I've had have come in since our last live. The first couple things I want to show you. I'm going to bring my banners up here really quick. Now I've shown you before one of these, a sock ruler, but this is the new one. This one is in blue. And this one was actually, wrong direction. This one was actually made for Sock Week 2023. Jeez. So this one's no longer available for sure. It's because she sold out. She only did one run of these for this year. And then next year's Sock Week, we'll get a new one. But I really love blue. You guys know that. So this is a sock roller. It's actually a slap bracelet. So you make it small to fit in your bag. Or you can put it on your wrist. But you can put it on your wrist. The kids love to do that. My kids love to do that. And they're in their mid to late 20s. But what's really cool about these sock rollers is that if you make crocheted socks or knit socks, you put this end snug against the heel inside the sock, and you just knit or crochet until you get to the shoe size that you wear, or whoever you are making the sock for wears. And that's when your foot's done and you're ready to start the toe. You can also work the other direction for toe up as well. Put the snug against the toe and then knit or crochet to the size, and that's where you start your heel. So I love these. I have a link for you. Hang on. That's not what I wanted. There we go. There's the link. I am an affiliate for Twice Sheared Sheep. So this is an affiliate link that you can use if you're interested. One thing I did notice, and I'm going to go to her screen here really quick. Here we go. I'm going to put that on screen. She is sold out of every color at the moment. But if you go to that link and you ask her to let you know when they're in, the pale green, the purple, and the pink will be in stock in late July. So you won't be able to order them right now, but you can go ahead and have her let you know when they're back in. I apologize. Yesterday they were still available. Today they're all gone. So, but I really love these rulers. So, there we go. I'm going to put myself back on. There we go. I really love these. So I highly, highly, highly recommend them if you knit or crochet socks. I saw some comments come in as I was talking about that. So hang on one second. It's very easy to read, Sharon. Super easy to read. And does it show inches too? Yes. The original ones that she made did not have inches and centimeters on the backside. This one does. Now that she's revamped them into colors. She originally had them only in white with purple writing, and that's downstairs with the sock that I'm working on downstairs. But the new colors have the ruler on them, and it's both centimeters for those of you who might be watching after the fact that live outside of the US and use the metric system. She does have centimeters on there as well. Okay, second thing that came from the same place. Same place. I'm going to put this up. These are what called her cat clips. These are stitch markers. They're snag free. You get them in a set of 10. I've got one already on another project downstairs that actually, do I have it up here? I might have it up here. But I'm going to try to put this up as, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to try to get it on my face in a way that you guys can see. It's the shape of a cat. My fingers are on top of the ears. Here's the tail. You can see the tail right there. That's where you would, for crocheters especially, would use it to hook into your stitches. That is also a link to that page. It has, she has different sizes because the circle can get bigger or smaller depending if you're a knitter using the knitting sizes. But what I really like the best, or I should say knitting needle sizes, what I really like the best is the ears on these, because especially with crochet, you can turn it so that the ear, one of the ears gets locked, or the yarn gets locked in between the ears, and the stitch marker won't come out until you're ready to take it out. It doesn't snag. Everything's nice and smooth, so it won't snag your yarn no matter what you're doing. So I thought I'd show you guys these because she's been advertising them for a while. I finally decided to order them, and I absolutely love them. I have used them on crochet. I've got them, one of them on a knitting pattern right now that I'm working on. It's a birthday gift for my son. Highly recommend. And I'm going to put that on the screen as well. Hang on one second. So you can see, I'm going to share that tab, and I'm going to take the link off for a second. But you can see she's got all these different sizes. You can get them in, I believe it's, let me go to that page. If you go here, you can choose the size. So she had small. It looks like she's sold out of small. Medium goes up to an 8, US 8 knitting needle. You can go large, goes up to a 10.5 knitting needle. I've got the mediums myself. You can see here she's got, I'm going to bring the colors up. You can get them in silver, which is what I have. You can get them in gold, or you can get them in bronze, in all of the sizes. So they're really cute. I love them. I'm going to put the link back up for you guys. Cat markers. That I'm also an affiliate for those, so that's why I'm putting that link up. So if you're interested in those, definitely try them out. I'm going to put myself back on. Yay. Okay. Now I can't remember. I got this in June, so it has to be, I have not shown you guys these, but the first weekend in June, we were in Seattle, and we went to Pike's Place Market, and there was a new yarn company there that I had never seen before. I think he must have arrived in Pike's after we moved away. I don't know that he was there before because I'd never seen him before. He was the first booth that we saw when we walked in. And I had to buy this yarn because my son brought me over there, and he fell in love with this colorway. He says it's the absolute perfect color of wine. And it's the brand name, I'm going to put his link up here, is MJ Yarns. His name is Jonathan, who's the dyer. This is his 1U fingering, which is it is a single ply. Those of you who are in the crochet crew, I thought it was a 2-ply, but it's actually a 1-ply. It is a fingering weight. The colorway is Corundum that I got. It's actually Corundum. Corundum. So it's a play on conundrum. But he has so many beautiful colors. I am definitely going to be ordering from him again. But if you're interested in his yarns, I've got the link there. And I'll also put them in the show notes. All of these links that I'm sharing right now will go in the show notes when I'm done. Okay, so that's that one. And then the last thing that's come in is I am working on a new project. I can't tell you what the project is, but I got this new yarn from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, and I've already wound it. I apologize because I already started working on it. But this is her colorway Secret Garden, and it's in her Cerama sock, which is it's a wool nylon blend, superwash wool nylon blend. But what I like about it, and I am going to show you this much of the project because I have to just make sure I don't show all of it. Here we go. This is what I want to show right here at the top edge. You can see right here, it's green, but then you get these little pops of pink in there. So it's like this beautiful, lush green garden with little flowers that pop up here and there in parts of the project. So I love this colorway. I should be done with the project by the end of the week. It's for um, a special project I can't talk about quite yet. But I wanted to show you the yarn because I am so in love with the yarn. You can kind of see here in the cake, here's like a pink. There's some navy blue in there too. There's some orangey-ish pinks. There's a yellow that kind of pops in there. I love this colorway. It would make a beautiful sweater or tank top or something that's really solid. I wouldn't necessarily use it for a I wouldn't necessarily use it for something that's super, super lacy, but it would work in the lace. But if you really want to see those little pops of color, you want something that's solid stitch for the most part. So I really love this color. And one thing about Chicken Lady's yarns in this base, at first it feels like it's a little rougher than most, but when you wash it, because I use this for the Home of the Brave shawl, as soon as you wash it, whatever she does to set the colors kind of releases itself, and it softens up so beautifully. The color name I saw Renee Poutman. This is called Secret Garden or The Secret Garden. It's named after the book The Secret Garden. So that is the color. Gorgeous color. I absolutely love it. Okay. So one more time, we're going to talk about the giveaway here really quick. I'm going to switch here. I'm going to take that banner off too. I'm giving away a copy of can't talk today. I can't. It's how the whole technology thing just threw off my whole live stream today. I apologize. I'm giving away a copy of the Cobblestone Cowl. If you would like to enter to win, I'm going to share. You're going to type in #Cobble. So make sure you do that because I'm going to do the drawing in like a minute here. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that up for a minute. I'm going to put myself back on screen here. Anybody have any questions for me while we are waiting for people to enter to win? I just saw a comment come through. Has anyone gotten any yarn from the Nitty Gritty? I ordered some and it's lovely. Oh yeah. So well, I've told you guys when we interviewed him, I am absolutely in love with that yarn. He still has the coupon good until Friday, the end of day Friday. It's Nitty Gritty is his, I think it's nittygrittyyarn.com, is it? Hang on, let me pull it up. nittygrittyfiberarts.com. I'm going to put the link up on the screen here. Or in the chat, I'm going to put the link here. He has the coupon Whooley15. I'm going to put that in here as well. Ah, what did I just do? There we go. I'm going to have to reboot my computer. I interviewed him on the 14th. No, the 14th on my live stream. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and go back and watch it. But if you use until the end of day Friday, if you use the code Whooley15, you'll save 15% off his yarns. I absolutely adore his yarns. These are the two colors I got in Loveland. I'm going to take this off the screen for a second. And these are his yarns. He's got new labels and a new logo since I bought these, but oh my gosh, it's so soft. It's lovely. So if you're interested, you have until Friday, the end of day Friday. He lives in the mountain time zone, I believe. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, Linda. I would try it and see if it'll take it off. I'm not 100% sure. I would think it's a one-time use coupon, but you can try. Let me see. Yeah. So definitely try it. Other than that, I highly recommend his yarns. I highly recommend watching the live stream if you haven't already. He's a great guy. He's got a great story. I know that those of you who watched the live stream will enjoy watching that. Or those of you who watched the live stream will know what a great story he has. So if you haven't done that, definitely watch that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the drawing. And actually, from what I can see, there's only one person who's drawn or who's entered. And I can't remember who it was. I saw on screen who it was. I think it was Sharon was the only one who entered. It won't let me hit draw. So Sharon, is that you that entered? I'm trying to find it. Oh, I just saw Linda. You had a question. Okay, I'll answer that question in a second. Hang on a second. Let me just look here. Yes, Sharon, you are a winner. Since you're the only one who entered. So Sharon, shoot me an email with your email address and I will get that into your account in my shopping cart and I'll send you the link so that you can download the pattern. If you don't have my email address, just go to the bottom of my website. I'm going to put that back on screen here really quick. And here at the bottom of the page, you're going to see this need help. You're going to click on that and see right here, it says contact us. Oops. You're going to click on contact us and you're going to fill that out and send me a note with your email address so that I can put that in your box or put that in your, put that in your shop. Okay, so now I'm going back to Linda's, where's Linda's comment? I should have. Okay, I can't see it. Okay, so Linda was asking, would any of those joins work for her shawl? Yes, it just have to be, just pick the one that you think works best. If you're actually changing colors, I would not use Russian join if you don't want it to change colors in a weird spot. I would use a magic knot or use a Russian join if you were changing. If it's a gradient, you could use a Russian join. You could use the magic knot if you're using all the same color. You can use a Russian join if you're using all the same color. So those are your two options with those changes. You could also use a spit splice. I don't know if you're not using superwash or not. It has to be non-superwash wool. And alpaca works as well as wool. That's as long as it's non-superwash. So yeah. Yay. I'm so excited for you, Sharon. Let me because I couldn't draw, it didn't do the confetti. So here's your confetti. Congratulations. Okay, before I go, anybody have any questions for me? Before I go, I'm going to take this off screen. Yay. Anybody have any questions? I will not be interviewing. I didn't mention this last week. I did not interview. I'm not going to be interviewing July, August, and September. So there will not be any dyers lined up for the next 3 months. Everybody is either out of town or I haven't checked out their yarn, that kind of thing. So October 11th, I believe, is the second. October 11th was my husband's birthday too. It will be my next yarn dyer video. So I don't have anybody scheduled yet, but I'm going to be putting out some feelers in the next week or so for those to see if anybody would be interested in that. But I will be back next month on the 26th for my regularly scheduled monthly live stream. So be watching for that. I'll have pattern coming out on the 11th of July. So be watching for that. I'm trying to think what else is happening in July. On July 31st, I'll be flying out to Yarn Fest in Lancaster. So if you are going to be at Yarn Fest in Lancaster, let me know some way, whether on social media or here on YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, whatever, or shoot me an email using my contact form. Let me know because I am planning and I haven't decided when yet, 100%. But sometime during that week, we're going to do a crochet meetup kind of thing for people who follow me here, follow me on social media, and also for my crochet crew. If you haven't joined the crochet crew, you can check out the crochet crew at the top of my website. There's a link there that you can find out all the details. But the crochet crew is, I've got some really exciting things coming up for the crochet crew. And as part of the crochet, well, they're going to be free for the crochet crew if you're part of the crochet crew, but you'll have to pay for them if you're not part of the crew. So make sure you check it out because there's a lot of new things, and there's going to be a year-long crochet along that starts in January next year. All sorts of stuff. So if you haven't done that, make sure you check it out. And other than that, I'm pretty much, Linda, no, you're not going to see me. You saw that I changed the date. This is for the crochet crew. For the crochet crew, I changed the date to tomorrow, even though I didn't go to Spokane like I was planning to when I talked to you guys on Monday. No, I had to change the date and I'm not going to change it back. So we're going to do it tomorrow. But in the meantime, definitely. Oh, I just saw Sharon said she's go back and watch it. Oh, yay. I'm glad you were in Seattle. Cool. Did you see MJ Yarns while you were there? Let me know. They're pretty awesome yarns there. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. Okay. I think that's it. Linda, if you are having issues or questions about Heartbeat, you need to shoot me an email. This is not the place to talk about issues and questions about the crochet crew. So shoot me an email and we'll figure it out. Anyway, I think we're done. I feel like I'm missing something. I have a list here, and let me just make sure. Chantel, giveaway. Yeah, I guess we got it all. It feels like there's so much more that happened, but I think that happened in May and not June, and I've already talked about most of it. So, but there'll be more coming next month. I'll be watching if you're not already subscribed to my newsletter. I believe the newsletter that goes out on the 18th, yeah, it's going to be the 18th, is going to be my announcement for the crochet along that starts in August. I believe we're going to start August 14th. So make sure it's a mystery crochet along. I'll give you some of the details about the crochet along, but all the details and how to sign up will be in that newsletter. So if you haven't already subscribed to my newsletter, I'm going to put the link up here. Oh no, I don't have it here. Just go to KarenWhooley.com/subscribe and you can subscribe to my newsletter, and you will get all of my newsletters. You get a free pattern and you will get the information about the crochet along. So make sure you check that out. I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye, y'all.